In this video, we're going to take a look at a new video platform that just launched. If it sounds familiar, it's because you already know it. And also, John McAfee launched a brand new exchange. We're going to take a look at that as well. And there's a brand new gold-backed coin. I wonder if this one will fare better than the last one. And it all starts right now. Chip here with the XRP Minute. I hope we're doing better this time than last time. You guys will let me know in the chat. You had a little setting of an issue, and that stuff happens from time to time. OBS is notorious. You hear a lot of the streamers talking about it. Here we go. So I want to see XR, please. Power loss. Yeah, it wasn't a power loss, but it was kind of a different type of loss. Tina Hall's in here. Jeff from the Hodl Review is here. XRP Connie Angel. Thank you guys for coming back in. Ralph Cramden is here. Palm Beach in the house. Yeah, well, we're Boca Raton right here. And so we have Palm Beach County right here. Represent, right? And yeah, so hopefully let me know, guys, in the chat if things seem to be streaming okay. Hopefully everything's good and we're back on track. I do think we are, but I'm going to jump into it. Let's go into the brand new platform that just launched. It's called Cinnamon. You guys already know it. Cinnamon, you love it. Yeah, it looks like the video and the audio are not aligned, so maybe it'll get better. I think it's picking up. I got a green now. So this is Cinnamon. You guys know Cinnamon. We're going to jump into it a little bit. It's a really awesome platform that was in beta. We were involved with the beta, but it finally launched yesterday to the public at large. So let's jump into this right here. So you can just jump in here, and so here's what's cool about it. It's a little bit different. You enjoy content like you never have before. One of the things that they do is it's hooked up to Coil. Content creators jumps through Cinnamon, and boom, you're watching videos. You get rewarded for your amazing content as creators. But one of the great things that we'll talk about here is one of the things that you have to look forward to is you don't have to watch all of the all of the advertisements, because one of the things, you go ahead and get yourself that $5, spend $5. Come on, man, $5. It's like if you get a flat white over at Starbucks, and I don't know, maybe you hate Starbucks, but whatever, and it's like $5, 5 something for a latte. Get one of these subscriptions, and if you go to a Coil enabled site, like for example, onthechain.io, you can go over there and you can kind of check it out. Go to onthechain.io. That's also Coil enabled, but you can see all the other content creators are on the channel. You can kind of check them out, take a look at them. If you scroll to the bottom, you can go ahead and sign up for some email alerts. We'll send you some stuff when we drop stuff or have something cool to talk about. So what they do is they instantly reward creators while you watch, and you can actually go into here and look about Coil and see what that's all about. But here's what's great. If you don't know about content creators, but anybody on a YouTuber, if you actually send a super chat, you know that little button, like send a super chat over to them, Google actually takes, or the parent company, YouTube actually takes 30%, man, 30%. So like out of $100, that's only $70 going to the content creators. So this all goes. So in micropayments. But as more and more people adopt it, you don't have to deal with the ads. That one ad you've seen 50,000 times, you got to sit there and say, I hate this ad. And even 3 seconds is overbearing, right? So here's a little bit of the team that's behind it. You create an account, you upload, and boom, you're there. So here's their partners, Coil, Strata, and Puma Browser. Now, Puma Browser is a great mobile browser for your phone. It's available on iOS, also available for use in the Google Play Store as well. So pretty excited about that. Let's jump up here. Let's actually log in. It may or may not log me in. I should be logged in with Coil. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how it goes here. Let's look here for a moment. And we are waiting, and I seem lost. I'm actually not lost. I have been lost before, but I like the 404 page. They're sorry it's not found. Look, it's a brand new thing. I was logged in before. Let's see what happens. I like the 404 page, though. There's always something good and creative. I feel like I'm in space. Let's see if this works. If not, but anyway, I was going to go in there. We're on there, so you can go to On The Chain. You can hype the videos when you jump up there. You can actually do some hype. Now, it's weird because it looks like here we are right here. So let's look. It did look like it logged me in. There we go. Yeah, it must have just been a little bit of a glitch. Here's the thing. It'll tell you the creator, like what your total income. It's in USD, so it's 0.09. We got 9 cents going right there. And here's a couple videos, but you can just jump on the videos. You can hype it. You can actually leave comments. One of the cool things that they've added, if you've been following it, they actually added comments to this, which is actually pretty cool. Reg Mabry, what's up? Didn't want dollars. I want XRP. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. You can. I think there was a setting before to actually to change it. Maybe that's a good question, Reg. I don't know. Did you get their version of Super Chat and XRP? Not familiar with that. If they have something like that necessarily, but when you have the subscription through Coil and you're actually on the site, little micro payments are streaming in the background. So you don't do anything, you just show up. If you have the browser plugin, it automatically goes ahead and streams that. So that's kind of how that puppy works. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, we'll be throwing more and more videos up here. And the other thing too is we'll be rolling out very soon is a lot of feedback we got from people is they're like, hey, you know what? I like listening to a lot of this stuff. So we'll be available as podcasts. So you'll be able to take us with you, whether you watch it on Spotify or Stitcher, or let's say, any one of the major platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. The content will be available there, and that way you can listen to it. You don't have to mess with the bandwidth on your phone, and we just get a nice a new way to sort of take a look at that. So here's another story, altcoins ahead of Libra. So I saw this originally, I thought Libra, man, we're still trying to get some steam out of Libra. XRP cryptocurrency gains a toehold in commerce. This is out of Reuters London. Facebook's Libra may be grabbing all the headlines, not so much anymore, but at the moment, yet a major cryptocurrency already exists that gained a toehold in the mainstream commerce. Well, which one is that? XRP, the third biggest cryptocurrency by market value, seeks to succeed where Bitcoin and other digital currencies have largely failed in powering fast and low-cost transaction. Whoa, are we getting a positive story here? What's going on? What's up, G? GXRP in the room. What's going on, G? Long time. So it's kind of cool that you see this something coming out of Reuters. I'm not sure what the original article is, but this is a Reuters article, so it's nice to see some positive press. Every once in a while they get beat up in the press, but it's nice to see this. In a rare example of cryptocurrency finding a practical use beyond speculative trading, it has gained a certain amount of traction with some large financial firms using XRP for international payments. Yet the price of XRP, often referred to as Ripple, now has dropped by a quarter so far this year, even as Bitcoin has more than doubled. Other smaller coins such as Ethereum have made slim gains. So anyway, I'm not going to go into it. It's a good article. But anyway, it was nice to see some positive information for once, jumping out there. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, if content creators get paid in XRP, it would be mining XRP, and that would be a game changer. Well, it's kind of like that. It sort of is like that, but I thought it's weird how they're showing it in USD. I thought there might be a setting where I could change. I'll have to spend a little bit more time because they did roll out a bunch of new features, so I'll have to take a look at that. Hey, what's going on, Danny? Yeah, here I am. So I actually had a weird setting. It was a setting thing because originally, it's a funny thing. It was actually set up to stream from Europe, which, Jeff was in Europe last week. Jeff from the HODL Review. He was going to do some streaming, so I changed the setting for him. And we used something that we actually streamed to a couple different platforms on the chain here. So it goes out on my Twitter feed to via Periscope and also on the chain. We can follow us at on the chain. _ the chain. Anyway, it's down below. Just click on the link below. You can just follow us. Really easy. But anyway, that's what the setting was. So that's why I was choking and trying to, catch up. So let's take a look at this. So crypto goes full circle. And I sort of teased this in the beginning here with a government guaranteed gold stablecoin. Now, there was another one. If you guys remember, it was a few months ago. There was another one that this other coin that was saying they were going to be gold back. And it sounded like a really good idea until they discovered one little thing. It actually had to be backed by gold. So you actually had to have the equivalent of the gold to back up the actual coin. So here's what I like about this coin, and it'll be surprising or interesting at least to see if it makes it. Bitcoin began as an alternative to gold and state-backed money. Now a company plans to issue a government guaranteed, so it's backed by a government, which is interesting. This crypto startup launching a token backed by government-guaranteed gold reserves, proposing it, perhaps somewhat ironically, as an alternative to a volatile dollar-backed alternative. The Australia-based Infinigold is launching the Perth Mint Gold Token, a crypto token backed by digitized certificates representing gold held in a network of central bank grade vaults. Those vaults are operated by the Perth Mint. It's a gold refinery guaranteed by the government of Western Australia. Each token represents an ounce worth of Perth Mint gold. So this is actually pretty interesting, right? It's actually a pretty big development, and it will be interesting to see if this moves beyond just Australia. So Infinigold positions its token as a non-inflationary alternative, which we've heard that time and time again, to dollar-backed stablecoins. Given the original cryptocurrency Bitcoin was itself a reaction to inflationary economics, it's been championed by a better store value than gold. As we know, it's done much better than gold. Indeed, Infinigold compares its product with a dollar-backed stablecoin, saying that PMGT offers owners superior transparency, credit quality, risk diversifications, and hedging against other market volatility. Basically a paradox, said Nick Carter, founder of crypto analytics firm called Coinmetrics and a partner of crypto fund Castle Island Ventures. Stablecoins are useful for routing around governments and transacting in low trust environments, but if you need the reserve to be guaranteed, you're relying on those same institutions, right? So this is kind of interesting. We'll have to see how this materializes in the future. Bob Moneybags, what's in there? Just got home, Chip. What's up? Hey, Bob, what's up? Well, glad you joined us now. We had a little bit of a misfire earlier, so hey, good to have you here, man. And what do we have? So this is the Perth Mint right here. This is actually it's backed by Perth Mint out of Western Australia. They do all kinds of gold-backed stuff. The fact that it's backed by the government is interesting. I'll have to keep a close, watchful eye, but I thought I'd just kind of pop into the Perth Mint there for a moment. And so this is interesting, right? So we've been hearing a lot about the stock market lately. An active trader predicts a stock market crash in Q4 due to liquidity crisis. Now, we've heard a lot about liquidity recently, right? There's always going to be issues with the liquidity. But let's just say, for example, we do see something that's very volatile in the stock market, right? And it does indeed crash. But we always have someone new predicting this. This always gets predicted, even like in a very strong bear market. It still goes in. So if you guys know Samantha LaDuke, she runs an analysis company called LaDuke Trading. She's pretty much all over the internet. She's also the CIO for LaDuke Capital LLC. She spoke to CCN about the near-term prospects of the S&P 500. We're shocked to hear. Oh my God, shocked! Oh, what do we do? She was like just shocked. Market will crash starting in Q4 and will take gold and Bitcoin with it. A true liquidity crisis creates panic, everything sells off, and only those who are sitting on the sidelines will be in a position to pick up the shares on the cheap. And where do you think the smart money's going if it dumps out of the stock market? Where do you think it's headed? Yeah, it's going to head into cryptocurrencies. Well, I heard somebody say it was going to go into the mattress. I mean, maybe, right? You can dump the money, you can leave it on the sidelines, you can leave it in cash sitting in an account somewhere. Chances are you're going to want it to make some money. But yeah, the sell-off, I don't know about gold. Gold could actually see a rise because I could see a lot of money dumping into precious metals and probably dumping into, you could probably be going the other way as well. So it could probably gotta be a kind of a little bit of this and that, right? We'll see what happens. But anyway, I happen to feel like it will absolutely dump off into probably split between precious metals, cash, and so she says LaDuke says it's going to drop by at least 30%. I don't think shorting will be a 6-month ride down a hill like in 2008. The current correction will morph into a panic from liquidity flash crash event and will convulse lower over 6 weeks. Risk premiums will be so quickly elevated in this race for liquidity that, again, now we've been hearing this time and time again, but here's somebody who's not really talking about digital assets, and a liquidity crunch, right? There's a lot of debt going on in the world, right? Which we'll end up seeing. So decentralized communication startup New Vector raises $8.5 million. You know, on this channel, we always like to look at stuff that's going on. The Matrix protocol, which enables secure communications via end-to-end encrypted messaging applications such as Riot.im, is an alternative to WhatsApp. Telegram or Slack will continue scaling and growing its network with the newly raised fund New Vector announced. The New Vector is the parent company. Investors of the New Vector's Series A funding included London-based European fund First Minute Capital, blah, blah, blah. So let's see. So the U.S. and the French governments are clients. The Matrix Protocols, an open standard, supports a secure and decentralized global communications network. And according to the firm, protocol enables secure communication. So what we're seeing, a lot of us in the community, we used Telegram, then we got off Telegram because that was dangerous, and then WhatsApp, and then WhatsApp revised, supposed to be encrypted end to end, but then Facebook basically did a lot of revisions there. So we're looking for what's the next big thing, and obviously you see the U.S. and French governments signing on here. Expanded to more 11 million users, 40,000 deployments with the high-profile clients as the U.S. government, French government, nonprofit company, educational project guys, all Wikimedia, as well as software firms KDE and Red Hat, amongst others. So this might be an alternative. Billionaire investor and major crypto bull Tim Draper joined the board of directors of this EOS-based decentralized application. So I like this. It might be an alternative right now to what we didn't like about Telegram and WhatsApp. Again, another clue to keep a close eye on riot.im. Let's head over. Bradley Niels, what's going on? He says, what's up, up. What's up, Bradley? I just got Bradley. It's Brady Niels. What's going on? Chilling with the dogs and a live stream. Good, man. We had a little bit of a miscue earlier. I'm glad you're here, Brady. Good to have you, man. So John McAfee, I love John McAfee, man. He really is something. He's just an icon. He's larger than life. So he went off and launched his exchange. And what's interesting about his exchange is it will entail know your customer, KYC, no checks, no blocks, no jurisdictions, and charge a single platform fee of 0.25% for takers. It will not charge maker fees. Will also be open source. So this isn't going to go over well, right? So it's going to be just a bastion of people going there to launder money or whatever. I don't know. I tried to load it earlier. I was going to flip over to it. Man, and it was spinning, and I just checked my browser speed because I thought maybe I had a glitch with my internet, and I'm getting 240 down, okay, 240 megabits down. That's plenty, and that thing was spinning like crazy. I couldn't get it, so it's real heavy. He says in here, distributed exchange can't be shut down by anyone. Decentralized, meaning that nobody controls it. Distributed, meaning that it's everywhere and therefore impossible to stop. We've had privacy coins. That's the other part of the equation, because privacy coins with decentralized is the goose that lays the golden egg for us. Well, we don't use it though. There was something else I think I read in here. It might have been another article. I'm trying to see if I can scan it over here. But anyway, it was something else where he says you just got to play with it. I don't think it's really ready for prime time, but I think it's early, it's beta. No matter how bad something is, you can just get away by slapping that beta tag on the end of it. You know what I mean? Hey, what's going on? Ralph Cramden back in the house from Palm Beach. We're South Palm Beach. You're up in Palm Beach. I don't know where you are in Palm Beach, Ralph Cramden. I'm down here in Boca Raton. Jeff is down the road. He's in Broward County. But yeah, we've got South Florida representing right here. So Hong Kong Free Press ditches BitPay after Bitcoin donation block. So you see what's happening, right? I'm getting into some geopolitical stuff. What happened? So you've got the Chinese government, Chinese communists, which you saw blow up with the NBA in their face because you had the Houston coach in the NBA there, the Houston Rockets coach, put out something in support of freedom in Hong Kong. Obviously, you know that there's been a whole to-do going on over there, and that just blew everything up. The NBA signed a $1.5 billion, or it might have been $1 trillion, some mecca deal, and so everybody's happy taking the money. Everyone's about human rights, but the way they treat minorities, the way they treat humans over there, and the way they changed their extradition policy, which caused this giant uproar to begin with that happened, is just not a cool thing overall, right? So one of the things that happened was they were using BitPay, and guess what? This led to Hong Kong Free Press once again opening its doors as Bitcoin, one of the 12 ways to support them in their drive for free press, right? So they're trying to drive a free press over there because they're getting censored left and right. And Hong Kong became the hot spot of tyrannical centralized control, something we just talked about. There was something more. Yeah, BitPay's bad reputation. So BitPay had been through the ringer before in terms of its centralized control of decentralized Bitcoin fund. So if you think about McAfee, he's got a point. He's like, if it's so it's decentralized. So this is something different. If people want to jump all over Ripple saying, oh, it's a centralized company, the company is centralized. However, the digital asset XRP is decentralized, and by running the nodes on the network, they only control 7%. So, and it's a consensus. Here you have a scenario where you got Bitpay. So you have a centralized control of a decentralized asset. That's an oxymoron going on right there. That's not a good thing at all. So BitPay responded to so previous to the blockade of the donations, BN Crypto reported that the company had also rejected a generous 10,000, or how many zeros are in there? It's like 4 zeros. That's weird. Donation to Amazon Watch at the time Amazon rainforest fires due to its being too large. BitPay responded to this issue by saying it needed to readjust the setting on the merchant dashboard. Once doing so, it'd have to wait for the new volume to be approved. And this was a bureaucratic and conversely centralized approach to BitPay. So basically what happened is you got a private company who you got a decentralized asset with Bitcoin. They opened it up. People are donating to it, and they just closed it down. And you see a lot of this censorship happening all over the place. You also see a lot of bigger brands too, which are jumping on this bandwagon of let's don't say anything and let's don't anger the Chi-Coms, the Chinese communists, because their money cashes really well. And when you sign these giant deals, so anyway, let's keep an eye on what's going on there, because this is really sad when you can't. I like these guys right here. Udacity will offer 100,000 free programming classes as part to the pledge to America's workers. It's very infrequent you see something awesome happening, right? You see somebody opening its doors. Think about 100,000. This is something where this is a for-profit business, but they've got a mission here. They're an online education company founded by Sebastian Thrun, who's launching a new scholarship initiative as part of a pledge to America's worker job training initiative undertaken by the administration of President Donald Trump. So under the leadership of this newly minted chief executive, Gabe Del Porto, Udacity is actually committing to giving away free introductory technology training classes up to 20,000 applicants. So you can apply to this. And again, suppose you want to learn, it's not uncommon for people in their 30s, late 20s, 40s, 50s. I read a story about somebody in their 60s wanted to be a programmer, started programming. So this is a really good way to get introduced to programming. Weetzy Win came up with something the other day, did a whole little class on and being able to do some basic calls to the XRP ledger, And I like stuff like this when you're actually doing something for the good. You're doing something, and it's education. And to educate yourself and doing this can't be any better than that. Kelly Slade, what's going on? Hey, Kelly. Yeah, you're native Floridian, yeah, but you're living your next Pat right now. I believe you're living on one of the islands. Is it Puerto Rico? No, I know you're living somewhere in the islands. Yeah, nothing like humidity smacking you in the face when you walk outside in the morning. Yeah, well, we're kind of past that a little bit. It's actually kind of cool. I get a nice little breeze. Come on, Kelly, tell me where you're from. But I know you're from one of the island nations. Maybe not. Maybe you're living there, because I know I bump into you on Twitter all the time. So they're going to roll out this in 2 phases. First is the 100,000 challenge for scholarships. Will provide access to introductory classes, open to any skill level. This is good stuff, man. This is really good stuff. It's a whole long article on it. But basically what they're trying to do is really help people improve themselves and get them started. Maybe you take an introductory course and you don't know if you're going to be good at it. But you take an introductory course, but you don't want to blow money because you're kind of scared. Like, let's face it, learning something new was easy when you were like 13 in school. It came easy. But you get in your 20s, 30s, 40s and up, and it seems hard. But this is a great way to find out if it's something you may want to do, right? And you get into it and you say like, hey, I got a knack for this, or I'm enjoying this. So it's that primer, and you can re-educate yourself. And there's so many programming jobs out there right now. It's just really amazing. Yeah, you're in Costa Rica, right? Costa Rica and Orlando, right? All right, Kelly. Costa Rica, okay, so I was not even close. So good enough. Yeah, in Orlando. Yeah, Orlando's cool as well. We're talking about how we've been talking a long time about getting a South Florida meetup here. Probably going to have to do some sort of an on-the-chain event where we have some big meetup here, and we'll do it in the wintertime. That way, if people from other areas want to come down and do a weekend and just have some sun. And that's, Kelly, when you like that humidity smacking you in the face, when you got 4 feet of snow on the ground, that's when it's kind of fun to think about. So I saw this one. Again, this has nothing to do with blockchain or, digital assets, but it does have something to do with the moon here. Because if you look in the background, you can see this moon, but NASA's new moon-bound space suit is safer, smarter, and much more comfortable. And I looked at this and I'm like, did they just Photoshop? Is this the thing? I mean, I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem like, a breeze can just flow up there or something. I don't know. It just looked really, this is 50 years later. And it looked a little quirky to me. I was thinking to myself, is this the new space? Is this it? That can't be it, is it? I don't know. Maybe it is. But maybe it's just a graphic. I don't look at this. But, we're always talking about when moon, right? When moon. That's always what we're talking about. So here we go. This is the actual press photo that they used for it in here. And look at it, guys. This is from the moon, right? Check that out. I don't know what that is. Tell me how different that looks. I was like, are my eyes playing tricks on me? Is that more comfortable? Yeah, it looks a little bit thinner. I don't know. Here's like some old footage from, it looks like the same thing, right? Almost. Just weird to me. I don't know. It just occurs as odd to me. I didn't get into the whole article, but basically the next Americans to set foot on the moon will do so in this new spacesuit. 50 years later, and this is what it looks like. I don't know. I thought it would look like something cool out of the movies. Apparently, it's not that cool out of the movies. It's somewhat semi-cool. When we were younger, we've been hearing forever, listen, the future is going to be awesome. We can't wait for the future. We're going to get flying cars. Man, we're starting to see stuff about flying cars. Finally, we're seeing stuff about flying cars. So Porsche and Boeing are partnering to develop premium electric flying cars. Count me in. When moon, forget the Lambo. I'm all in on one of these little babies, right? Electrical vertical takeoff and landing industry is heating up. And there's just a slew of companies. It's weird. Like in the last week and a half, I've come across, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 of these type of companies, where before it was like, yeah, somebody has an idea and they're thinking about flying a car. You know what I mean? It looked like a car. It was just really, really bizarre looking. But the new partnership will explore what a premium offering might look like. And you know what that means? You know when they put words like premium offering? Premium means a crap ton of money. That's what that means. They like premium. It's like high cost, super expensive, unaffordable. And then they put premium. Premium offering might look in the era of suburban air mobility, including working together on the aircraft design. Irony is that likely for the foreseeable future, any air mobility services will be premium in terms. Wah, wah. So it's like, yeah, they get you all hyped up and excited, but they start using that word premium. And I'll do the translation for you. That means super mega expensive, right? That's what that means right there. So let's go take a look at this. So Lilium is looking to raise up to $500 million for its electric fly-in taxis. Forget about the taxi, man. I want to just jump in this thing and take it for a spin. I'll be honest. Flying cars. So here's some more information about it. Lilium has already received some deep-pocketed investors in addition to WeChat owner and Chinese internet giant Tencent. By the way, Tencent was the one that actually signed that giant deal with the NBA. It counts Atomico, founded by Skype co-founder Nicholas Zenstrom, as a repeat investor. So it's cool. We're starting to see some money. The big money and smart money is going behind that. Yeah, about 10 feet above the ground and maybe over water, Jeff. I mean, let's be honest, right? You don't want to get this puppy off. And it was funny because I actually watched on their website. So I went to their website, I played the video, and they were like, hey, take a look at our video. It was actually on the other one, and they flew it like about 20 feet. Everyone's clapping and crying, oh my God, it works. They were just absolutely impressed by it. This thing looks good. I mean, you always see things look a little bit on the clunky side, but this thing takes off vertical. Looks like it has like, I don't know, these little heaters, almost like a fan or whatever in there. So it flips up and then it jumps up. So here it is flying around. It starts off and it takes off with these things facing the ground. It takes off and it slowly turns and then boom. I think these are Photoshop, but it looks cool as hell anyway. I don't care. It's capable of traveling up to 300 kilometers in 60 minutes, meaning you won't just be connecting urban and suburban areas. We'll be connecting cities to each other too. The only jet-powered transition aircraft on the market, the Lilium Jet is uniquely positioned to deliver the full potential of the urban mobility market. So they're just kind of showing like where you could jump between here. So some different places, like here's Munich. You could fly. It's just basically showing you where you could end up. Let's go to New York here. And this is sort of the radius that you could sort of fly around. It shows you like as it pops out, show you a little bit of the radius. Let's go to LA. it's a cool idea. I like this because it is jet powered, and it's really the only one. A lot of these are electric based. Actually, you know, I'm more of a fossil fuel guy. We don't really have that whole thing. You know, once we figure out how to this next propulsion system or energy system, I'm not sure 100% that it's going to be, you know, if it's going to work out to actually be this electric stuff. I mean, it could be. I just don't know. But I love it. I think it's a cool way to go. This Lilium. I'll have to keep an eye on this sucker too. And this is meant to be a taxi, really. Far away's never been closer. It's a nice website too. We want it to be clear. Travel with Lilium is not just for the wealthy few. So this is what they're positioning this as. We deserve a better way to get from point A to point B than congested traffic. But, you know, think about it. You got drones in the air. You got airplanes in the air. I mean, it's going to get crazy up there. It's going to start getting really congested, right? You have all these electric planes. You've got the Uber. You know, Uber launched their own electric thing, you know, point A to point B. And, you know, some yahoos are going to go out there and get their own planes. Actually, you know, they'll be flying around. You know, it's going to get a little bit weird. But anyway, they're positioning this to be for, like, you know, the everybody. So I like this whole idea of where they're going. I really hope they make it. It's a cool little thing. It looks pretty small. I don't know. You get more than one person in there. But I like it. It's a great thing. You get from point A to point B. It looks cool, man, and fun. Plus, you get a nice surround view. So I have to say that, you know, I'm down on that thing. You know, you know, when we get into that whole thing, I got to say, more than anything, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, how fun would it be to jump in one of these things, just start trolling around? I mean, they're going to have to idiot-proof it, right? Because, you know, you make a long thing, or let's say you get your, like, Starbucks coffee, or you get a coffee, and you, like, you know, there's a bug in there, and it flies in your nose. You spill your coffee in your lap. You flip out. You hit the controls, and boom, you just, like, you know, so they're going to have to figure out that way that, you know, it's got to stabilize in some way, fashion, and form. You know, you're not going to get it to where, you know, it's going to just suddenly just go down. And that's what drones are too. Like, drones can actually lose one of those propeller things. You know, it can break and it'll just restabilize itself. We're going to get there. I don't know if I want to be the early tester, but I do think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we'll get there together, and we'll be watching the progress on, you know, the channel. So I want to close by saying, if you enjoyed the content, you made it to the end, please like, subscribe, click that bell. That will give you notifications of when the next video drops. Also, go to onthechain.io. You can go there, sign up over there. You scroll down, you can see who the other content creators are. We got some cool stuff coming up for you. Don't want to talk about it just yet, but we got some cool stuff that's going to be happening. We're going to bring you some really cool content. I would say, let's put it this way, some different content. A lot of the stuff you already like and you love already. So thank you. If you like something cool, if you think I should focus on something a little bit more, let me know in the comments below. Go ahead and write in there. You know, you think something should be covered, you can always hit me up on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow us on the chain. And again, that's also below too. You can also follow our other channel, which we drop more like pre-recorded stuff and shorter stuff for you to digest. You guys are busy, man. You don't have a lot of time. You want to digest a 7, 8, 9 minute video, and that's what we're there for. So just wanted to say one thing when we close. Thank you all for coming and supporting the channel. That's my take. What's yours? Chip